I'm like, really? So, turns out with prolonged high blood pressure, you don't really feel any symptoms. The nausea, the lightheadedness. His coloring had been off, which is one of the things that was like back here, like, why is it that color? Or why is he looking like, and why is he, but so many other things were going on, I didn't make it a priority. So I urge you to don't let things that your gut is telling you are not right go by. Check them, because you never know. So creatinine levels were really high, and then they said that he had damage to his heart and of course damage to his kidneys. He was in stage 4 of kidney disease. He is in stage 4 of kidney disease, and his kidney function at the time was 13%. So they say renal failure, or when you have to go on dialysis, is 6, when you're at 6, or when you're, stage 6. And he was at stage 4. He's at stage 4. So he was in the hospital for 6 days. He was discharged on September 3rd. And then they of course want you to follow up with your doctor, your PCP. He had to get a nephrologist for kidney. He had to get a cardiologist for his heart within a week of his discharge. Well, couldn't get it right away because of course he hasn't had any doctors. So finally got him in. What date was that? 2 weeks later. No, I'm sorry. I got him in on the 9th. He was discharged on the 3rd. I got him in on the, what day was that? The 9th. That was right. I got him in on the 9th to see the nephrologist. And while he was in the hospital, his creatinine level rose to 5. So now he's discharged. He went to his first nephrologist visit. It went down to 4.1. His kidney function went from 13 to 16%. So she said that she wanted to see him in 2 weeks. And then if his numbers hadn't improved, that we would have to discuss transplant and dialysis options. She asked, of course, about how much salt he had. And he does not eat salt. As long as I've known him, he has not eaten salt. But she did mention hidden salt, which is not something that we really were really taking into account. And initially, when I came off of meat and dairy, they tried it, but they were not with it. It was too drastic for them, and they went back. So I didn't fight them on it. I can't. It was too much. I could not handle my family and keeping us on track, and then trying to keep my parents. They didn't want to do it. So I just said, okay, so 2 weeks we have to make a dent in these numbers. So when we heard transplant and dialysis, we were like, oh, no, because my mother-in-law was a dialysis patient. I know what's involved in that. We don't want to do that. So I put him on a strict diet for 2 weeks. So the next visit was 2 weeks, September 23rd. So because of the hidden salt, and it was just too much, I was like, we're going to do smoothies, and you're going to do, what did I give him? I gave him 2 smoothies a day. And I also gave him, if he got hungry, he had dairy-free yogurt topped with mixed fruit, or chia chocolate pudding. The chia will fill you up and keep you full. So those are his options if you wanted to choose something. But outside of that, he was just drinking nutrient-dense smoothies. A lot of them were beet smoothies. Every now and then a green smoothie, but it had lots of superfoods in it. And he had to drink celery juice in the morning and celery juice at night. Have not been doing a lot of water because I think they told me not to. So we just been drinking water for his medication. So we were strict on the meds, following doctor's orders, doing all the medication that they suggested, and incorporating this new diet. So we go back in for our visit on the 23rd, and they're doing his numbers, and the lady's like, oh, I have to weigh him again. This can't be right. He lost 8 pounds. I said, it's probably right. He probably lost 8 pounds. Oh, no, it's impossible. No, it's probably right. So she weighed him again. She was like, oh, he did lose. I said, yeah, he lost 8 pounds because we're not playing. Okay. And then, so he had to do a urine test that day. And they told us not to take his meds. So his appointment was at 12 noon. So they were, concerned about his blood pressure when he got in there because it was high, according to them. But according to us, it wasn't really high. And that morning I took his blood pressure before we got there. And it was, 20 points higher. Was it 20 points or was it 10 points? It might have been about 15 points higher. So it had already gone down by the time she had taken his blood pressure. And she's like, oh, I have to take it again because it seems like it's a little bit too high. I said, it's actually coming down. It's good. So she got upset when she realized he didn't take his medications and insisted that they would never tell the patient not to take their meds. I said, well, you did. I heard it and he heard it. And so from there, I let them know, the doctor came in and let her know that he hadn't eaten in 2 weeks. And he was, well, what is he eating? She was having a fit. I said, it's fine. He was overweight. He needed to lose some weight. He needs to exercise. So it seems to me that all the things, because I've never been sick, no one in my family has ever been sick, but just from my own research and watching other people, listening to doctors and their points of view, that partially they don't agree with the holistic lifestyle because, number one, they're not educated on it in med school. Number two, a lot of times it has a lot to do with dollars and cents, and they just, it doesn't go well with their bottom line. So I am a firm believer of being an advocate for my own health and the health of my family. And I will go toe-to-toe with a doctor, and I will fire a doctor in a minute. I don't hinge on every word that they say. I take it with a grain of salt, and I do my own research and do what's best for us. I really just count on them for a diagnosis. Really. That's really what I go to them for. But again, these are my parents, so I had to consult them and how they feel about things. But we're all pretty much on the same page. So she's ranting and raving about him having lost too much weight. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So she ups his dosage, of course, and changes his dosage. And so I said, so basically you don't know what's best. You're just experimenting to find out the right combinations. Okay, no problem. So we talked about it and I decided, well, we're going to experiment too. We're going to decide what's going to really work for us as well. My parents agreed. So now, since then, I've really done a lot of research and have decided to really, he has, starting yesterday, he has 3 weeks before his next visit. And so what we're doing is a new regimen for the next 3 weeks. So I wanted to kind of give you some background on where we've started and the point we've come to now. And as we go along, keep you abreast of kind of how it's going. So I will come back and let you know what that regimen is that we're following for the next 3 weeks. And hopefully his next visit, he will have another rise in his kidney function and lowering of his creatinine levels so that we can get hopefully to stage 3 and hopefully to stage 2 of this kidney disease. I do know, or I've read of and seen different people who have had transplants and kidney failure and on dialysis come off of dialysis and back up off of whatever stage they on onto a better, healthier kidney. And so that is what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to be looking like I'm looking. Okay. You're ready. But thanks you guys for joining me, and I hope you guys can get some information from this. If not, share with someone else who may be going through it, and we will talk to you very soon. Take care.